Good morning, all of you. So today the lecture topic is democracy. So before going to discuss about the democracy, the democracy is one of the most debatable topic in this world. Why it is most debatable topic in this world? Because the from continent to continent, from the like philosopher, expert, their view on the democracy is entirely different. Why? Because in the first world democracy, whatever they are promoting is not applicable in the third world democracy. If democracy is valid in all the country, of course the all country will going to provide the equal opportunity to their citizen. But in the third world country, what we will going to see already there is conflict. There is like racial discrimination, caste based discrimination, and there are no the unemployment is there, illiteracy is there, health related problem is there, and there are so many wars and conflict. So before going to discuss about the all other debatable issues related to democracy, first we have to see the beginning of democracy, where it came and how it evolved around the world. So if we have to trace the democracy, we have to trace back to the ancient Greek democracy. One of the the base form of democracy already, or the democracy evolved from the Greek city of Athens. So it around evolved around 2005 years back. So that time what was the Greek word demokratia is a combination of two words. You know Democratia. This is already combination of two words. Demos means people and kratos means power or rule. So a rule that going to power that will going to rule many people. So this is already a form of government which the people rule. So what the people will going to rule, because once the people will going to demand or will not fulfilled, they can change the government. So that type of the democracy was promoted in the ancient Greek city itself. So in their people were defined what the ancient Greek polity, the demos was rather restrictively defined as notably, means they exclude three main category, that was slaves, women and metics, the foreigners. Other were having all the rights in the state. But dear, the democracy was considered as a struggle against political equality. So it's based on the justified by inequalities of birth and wealth. And then democracy not already why it's not promoted all over the world, because what was happened in the Athenian democracy, in the it is fairly troubled by the aristocrat general and demagogues made periodic attempt to control. So this was the time when Peloponnesian, the war was happened. Spartan attacked the Athens, and the democracy was that time ended. So first we have to discuss about the why the Abraham Lincoln said already, the definition is still valid. So Abraham Lincoln already, the American Civil War, or Abraham Lincoln extolled the virtue of what he called the government of the people, by the people and for the people. So any government is of the people or by the people and the for the people is we call democracy. So we have to evolve the democracy itself. We have to trace back again the industrial already. You can see that the revolution was happen in the Britain, and the other side in the political revolution in France. These are the already again revival of the democracy around the world. So that time you can see that what was happened in the 18th century, Britain came with the industrial revolution, and the France and America already they came through the political revolution. So first we will going to discuss about the Britain itself. The Britain is regarded as a first form of modern democracy. So what is modern democracy? The all whatever the rights and justice and everything, whatever is applicable for one person is applicable for everyone. Even the king is entitled to the same already. So this already the democracy because happen already or welcome after the civil war in 7th century, 17th century. So royal power was transferred from crown to parliament, and you can see that the once the royal power was transferred from crown to parliament, that affected all the colonies in the Great Britain. From Morocco to Indonesia was considered as a Great Britain part. You can see that the changes was happening in the India also. The demand for the independence were rise. So this was happened just because of the transfer of power from crown to parliament. And there are so many reforms already initiated in the Britain already. In 1929, reform allowed women's right. Women were not having earlier right to vote. After that, the universal adult suffrage was fully achieved in 1948. The France was having equally the revolution in 1789. The people called for liberty, fraternity and equality. And at that time already, the Declaration of the Rights of the Man Citizen proclaimed the rights of person, liberty, freedom of thought, religion, security of property, and political equality as natural rights. So what was happened that time, in the United States also, they revolted against the British. So to achieve independence, so 1791 they achieved the universal male suffrage or property rights. So what was that time? The right to vote was for all excluding servant, virgin and beggars. So you can see that even the vote was limited in the democratic state also. So what was happened in the United States? They gained the universal male suffrage was introduced in 1848, and the universal adult franchise already they achieved 1946, and then only the women won right to vote. So we can see that the United States of America, as too advanced democracy in after the civil wars, and that was at that time also that was restricted to only white men, means within the democratic states they were having discrimination. So 1776 is one of the movement was important for the democratic movement in United States was no taxation without representation, but still slavery was in practice. So we cannot forget the two philosophers, the political the idealists. This the one is the John Locke, and the other is Thomas Paine. Because why? The revolution in the France and the United States, they contributed a lot. So, but again, you can see that the democracy peace theory was, limited to the concept of liberty rather than equality. So people were fighting for the liberty, not for the equality, because they were not provided all the rights to even beggar or the women or the servant or the black people. So that time already what was happened, no one focused on the franchise of servant and criminal apart from the women were to be excluded. So in the John Locke, again the two treatises of government, that is the source of all classical liberal ideas, and that also discuss the laws of nature. So in this already, what was discussed, the civil law must now conform to the eternal rule, that is natural law. And there is no individual ought to harm another in life, health, liberty and possession. So this is already John Locke defined. So individuals are not allowed to harm any other. In the liberty itself, they are not allowed to harm any other. And the all are equally creature of God, gives them equal right to freedom. So people have right to resist and replace the government. And these are the core principles is part of classical liberalism. And that time already individualism, popular sovereignty are limited government that provided the foundation of liberal democracy. So government were liberal towards their people. So Locke already, described the natural and inalienable right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. That is also accepted by the American Declaration on Independence, 1776. So if we talk about, the society itself, we cannot forget the Jean-Jacques Rousseau. The Jean-Jacques Rousseau, is already contributed the French Declaration of the Rights of the Man, 1789, in which already he said that the representative government simply was not good enough and only form of free government and was direct democracy. So in the direct democracy only the free government is good, in which the citizens would participate directly. So in the direct democracy people will going to participate directly. So he was aware about the gross inequality around the world due to wealth. So there are large number of political community where obstacle to popular sovereignty about liberty, welfare and public education. So so that's why the to bring the ideal democracy, he said the direct democracy is one of the best form of government. So in the liberal democracy, it has its own historical importance based on the culturally specific theory of individualization, in which the liberalism as a theory of state with democratic form of government in this society plays a greater role to the community than to the individual, which promote free election, free of is freedom of speech. So if the society will going to prevail, the free election and the freedom of speech, then already democracy will be survive. So what is happening in India? You can see that there is no free election. There are security people. They are looting of booth is very common. And if anyone is speaking against the government, they are putting behind the bar. So this is not like the form of government already was discussed by the Rousseau. Now we will going to see the waves of democracy. The waves of democracy is what? You can see that the first wave of democracy was happened, in yeah, sorry, it was mic was not working. Anyway, the first wave of democratization, their figure I have mentioned. So first of wave of democracy, you can see that in the European in 19th century is happened. And after that, all the democratic means the European country got independence. So that's why they ruled all the world. The second wave we can see that after the World War One, Europe, even the Scandinavian, they gain the about gain in democracy. So third world democracy, include the Germany. What was happened? Even the Germany is from the Nazism and Italy from the fascism. Even they opted about the democracy. And after that, most of the Asian and West Asian country they also choose the democracy as the best form of government. The fourth wave of democracy, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, the post-communist state already, they also opted about the democracy. So these are the why the people are already opting democracy. Or the other hand, we can see that even after the Second World War, why United States is already, they're mostly involved in the promotion of democracy all over the world. What is the reason behind the US is like acting to promote the democracy all over the world? So for these all questions, we will going to discuss the democracy in another part. So what is the reason behind the United States after the Second World War through the Bretton Woods system, through the World Bank, IMF, IBRD, how they are involved in the promotion of democracy or something else. So this already the lecture I have prepared for 2 3 books already about the this capitalism, socialism and democracy. Andrew Harvard book Political Theory and IGNU notes, and the Francis Fukuyama, one of the like influencing author, The End of the History and Last Man, and the O.P. Guava, An Introduction to Political Theory. So these books I have included in the lecture. Thank you for watching my video. Please do subscribe and increase my subscription so I can upload my next video. And please like and share. This is my channel in academic. Thank you so much.